Hi everyone, this is Alex Tardy, National Weather Service in San Diego. We wanted to provide you with an update as we're unfolding into this round 2 of Santa Ana winds and the outlook into early next week. I'm a meteorologist here at the National Weather Service. Here are the highlights up front. Red flag warning is in effect, along with high wind warning for similar areas. The high wind warning is for potential damaging winds to power lines and trees. We also have a heat advisory in effect for coastal areas. Santa Ana winds should be strongest into Friday morning. Very warm and very dry. An extended period of Santa Ana winds is expected into early next week. However, we do expect a cooler Santa Ana wind on Sunday, Monday. That strongest wind Sunday night and Monday. Warm and dry conditions are expected later next week into early November. Here's a look as I do this recording where the winds are already blowing. You can create a map like this right off of our webpage and just filter out and look for the stronger winds. You can see the corridors of those winds show up very well. That's what we mean by wind-prone areas. Cajon Pass, Highway 91, Highway 78, really widespread in San Diego County, and this does favor that region. We have a lot of hazards in effect, so be sure to check weather.gov for the latest. These colors will show up on the map. We have the red flag warning, which covers all of Southwest California except for the deserts. We also have a high wind warning in effect for almost those same areas for potential damaging winds. We have a heat advisory for the coast, and there actually has been some gale warnings issued for the outer waters and the nearshore waters west of LA. What's the weather pattern we're in? Dome of high pressure over us, right over us almost. That's providing the very hot air with temperatures near 100 on the coast. The high pressure, notice where it's situated over western Colorado, eastern Utah. That is different than your average Santa Ana wind, and that is what's favoring the wind to blow from the east and especially over San Diego County and some of our west to east corridors. This is currently what's going on with the weather pattern through Friday. What's going to change? Do we get a repeat? Well, a storm system comes directly from Western Canada and a very cold source, which is typical of Santa Ana's. This one comes a little closer to us. Notice high pressure aloft, nudges to the west over the open waters. So because it's coming closer, we get more of the cold air, but we also still get the wind. And also, important to note, the high pressure center over the Great Basin, the image to the right, creates more of a northerly gradient over northern California and then down across southeast California. So a little bit different configuration, and that's what results in different areas of getting stronger wind and the cooler temperatures for Sunday, Monday, as that storm system goes right by just to our east. We're in very dry conditions across the region. This is an updated fuel moisture map. And over our mountains, fuel moistures are flirting just above record levels, but still well below the average line shown in the light gray. What are the wind speeds expected? This is the latest map for tonight into Friday. Some places have already seen winds close to these values. The shaded blue areas and the light green is where we expect the strongest wind. Some of the peak wind gusts could reach over 70 miles per hour in the green, but notice most areas are 50 miles per hour. Also notice that some of our main corridors along the 15 and the I-5 could see wind gusts over 35 miles per hour, so keep that in mind. This is rather widespread winds for San Diego County and parts of Orange County. How about the temperatures? Well, Thursday was hot across the coast and inland valleys, some locations hitting 100. This is what we expect for Friday. Very similar conditions, widespread temperatures getting well into the 90s. The big issue on Friday will be the humidity. It's low now on Thursday, and it's going to be low on Friday. Widespread single digits almost all the way to the coast. That is significant. How about the wind speeds for the next event? Well, it's a little bit different event as we described before. Nonetheless, northerly winds should abruptly pick up behind a cold front over the high deserts on Sunday, as early as Sunday. Those winds then spread Sunday all the way down to San Diego County. This wind is coming from the north to northeast. The blue shaded areas could easily see wind gusts of near 50 miles per hour, and a lot of the breezy conditions in the purple shaded areas. This is for round 3 of Santa Ana winds on Sunday, Monday. The main difference on this weather pattern for Sunday, Monday is that it'll be much colder. In some cases, 20 degrees colder, even in the valleys and the coastal areas. Temperatures much cooler, but still Santa Ana conditions. So it looks to be into the 70s across the coast and valleys, and only in the 60s in the high deserts on Sunday as that cold air tries to filter in. What about the humidity? Humidity will be higher, but that's relatively speaking, of course, as you see here. Humidity values still dropping into the teens over most areas except for the immediate coast. So humidity values dropping to the teens from this Santa Ana wind on Sunday is still critical for fire weather conditions. Temperatures on Monday don't rebound much. In fact, they're still quite chilly in the mountains, but we do get back up close to 80 along the valleys and some of the coastal areas as temperatures modify. And notice how that is very similar to the lower deserts like Palm Springs, which is very typical when you have a Santa Ana wind. Monday will remain dry, in fact, probably a little bit drier as temperatures warm up. So we'll start seeing some single-digit humidity show up, but certainly more widespread humidities dropping into the teens to around 20%. So dry conditions and elevated fire danger into Monday. Here are the highlights for this briefing. Widespread Santa Ana winds today. I showed you a map earlier. It'll be increasing, and the strongest winds will be into Friday morning. Very dry, single-digit humidity. Very warm conditions. We have a heat advisory on the coast. Temperatures are much above average, but cooler on Sunday. So Sunday, we actually have a cold front moving through. We have moderate Santa Ana wind overall, but localized strong gusts up around 75 miles per hour in the most wind-prone areas, such as some of the mountains in San Diego, west of Cuyamaca Lake or west of Mount Laguna. Most areas will see wind gusts of 35 to 50 in the windy passes. Most areas with homes, 20 to 40 miles per hour, except for the immediate coast. And then over the mountains and the western slopes, we could see some gusts over 70. Winds again return with a cold front on Sunday, and then that continues into Monday. It's going to remain dry next week, even after that cooler air starts to modify and warm up. We're going to see a lot of low humidity all the way into early next week. We do see a little bit of humidity recovery Saturday night and Sunday, but that's really the best we can do. Overall, poor humidity recovery. And again, for Sunday night into Monday, because of the winds, poor humidity recovery. Make sure you have a plan. If a fire does break out, these are dangerous conditions with the high wind warning in effect and the red flag warning in effect. These conditions are hot too. For coastal areas, it's air conditioning type conditions. We do not see much relief in sight until Sunday when we get that cold front coming through, but then that also brings us more wind Sunday into Monday. You can monitor the weather on the link in the middle of the screen or follow us on Twitter, where we'll post a lot of updates, and also on Facebook. Stay safe, everyone, in these Santa Ana wind conditions.